I was not born a monster. And oh child dreams of becoming the man the world learns to hate. I was born in the dust, in the shadow of poverty, in a land that had already seen too much blood. But even as a boy, I swore one thing: the world would never step on me again. Every insult, every hunger, every wound became a brick in the palace I would someday build. And when I finally rose, I did not rise quietly. I rose like a storm. Baghdad trembled. My enemies vanished. My flag flew higher than the towers of those who doubted me. They called me a hero. They called me a savior. And I believed them. The power felt pure, like fire in my veins. I could bend laws, move armies, silence anyone with a whisper. But power, it whispers back. It changes your voice, your heart, your eyes. You begin to think you are more than human, a god among men. And gods do not apologize. When I looked at my people from the palace balcony, I saw not faces, but subjects. I told myself I was protecting them from chaos, from foreign hands, from their own weakness. But maybe I was protecting myself, because the truth was harder to face. I had become the very fear I once ran from. Nights in the palace were never peaceful. The chandeliers sparkled, the halls echoed with music, but beneath that beauty, paranoia crept like smoke. I saw betrayal in every smile. Loyalty meant nothing. Fear meant everything. Even my own reflection began to look like a stranger. When the first bombs fell over Baghdad, the ground shook like Judgment Day. The skies burned orange, and the call to prayer was drowned by thunder. I watched it all from the window. The same city I once swore to protect now crumbling beneath my rule. They said America came for justice, but I knew they came for me, not for the crimes, not for the people, for the symbol I had become. I moved from place to place, house to house, hidden tunnels, dark rooms, endless silence. For the first time in my life, I was afraid not of death, but of being forgotten. They caught me in the dirt, the same dirt I was born from. I remember their flashlights, the shouting, the cameras, the laughter. They looked at me like an animal trapped in its own cage. But I raised my head, even covered in dust. I looked them in the eyes. Because power may leave your hands, but dignity, that is something no one can strip away. The trial was a theater. They had already written the ending. Reporters, judges, soldiers, all waiting for the fall of the man they had once feared. Every word I spoke was twisted, every silence turned into guilt. But I did not beg. A lion does not explain himself to sheep. And yet, when I sat in that cell at night, surrounded by concrete and cold, I finally heard the one voice I had silenced for decades. My own conscience. It whispered, was it worth it? Was the empire worth the blood? Was the fear worth the silence of millions? Was the throne worth the loneliness that followed? I told myself. Yes. I told myself it was destiny, but deep down I knew I had become a prisoner long before the Americans came. A prisoner of my own pride. The morning they came for me, December 30th, 2006, I did not fight. The world outside was celebrating the new dawn of Iraq, but inside those walls I was calm, almost peaceful, because I finally understood the truth. You can kill a man, but you cannot kill his story. As they led me to the gallows, I looked at the faces around me, some cold, some trembling, some filled with hate, but none of them looked victorious. They looked afraid, because even they knew power never truly dies. It just changes hands. The rope felt rough, the air heavy. I looked up and said my final words. Not for forgiveness, not for mercy, but for memory. I wanted the world to remember me, not as a saint, not as a monster, but as a man who lived and died believing he was destiny itself. And when the trapdoor opened, I felt no fear, only silence. The kind of silence that follows after a storm has burned itself out. That silence was freedom. But the story did not end with me. It never does, because history is a mirror, and one day another man will stand where I stood, make the same promises, believe the same lies, and fall just as I did. So remember this. Power is not about thrones or armies. It's about control of minds, of memories, of truth. And once you lose that, you lose everything. I was Saddam Hussein. I ruled with fear. I fell with pride. And even in death, the world still whispers my name.